So that's how we're gonna go. As of course, I'm gonna start off with how was everybody week?
Solid.
It's okay.
Good.
It was
yeah,
good.
man. We had a
restful.
It was a really good weekend.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah, I bet.
Good Saturday.
yeah,
I bet.
Yeah, it was a great weekend football. I did have I had to test for COVID. Just close contact. So I feel like that's the thing we're about to talk about it anyway. One of my family members has it. I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't know. Eventually, it's gonna happen. Like you can be as careful as you want to be, and still could have it.
Absolutely.
You know, unfortunately, this variant is pretty aggressive. It's another outbreak. My office shut back down again for the new year. So it's just been interesting. So speaking of that, so it's just been an interesting week. I'm good, but I can't we were supposed to have Christmas dinner, but I can't do it now. So it'll be like last year. I'll just be in the house, opening my gifts, chilling, relaxing, watching football. Because I don't think football was on last year. I don't think so because it's on Saturday. Right?
Yeah, I know.
I don't think so.
They got two games. But they got two games
Friday
Christmas
last year.
Day.
It was on Friday last year, so it was no games. Yeah. You know, usually at this time of season they have games anyway on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna be home chilling, probably drinking some eggnog, and relaxing with my wife and watching some football, man. All right, man. So once again, it's been a crazy week, especially with the COVID outbreaks. So, Bo, let me ask you this: what's your thoughts about the current COVID outbreak in sports?
I mean, I think it's rough. I think each sport is doing the best they can due to the situation. But it's been crazy. Now I'm not surprised, but seeing games get moved, I'm not surprised by it, and I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't see games get moved the last two games of the season, as far as NFL is concerned. And I'm really worried about this NCAA tournament. I'm really worried about the NCAA tournament. I'm really worried about the other sports moving forward. But right now, let's focus on football. I wouldn't be surprised if some more games get moved over the next 2 weeks. I know they don't want to do it, but it is what it is. But I'm really interested in seeing how they're gonna deal with it. And I think the NFL season is going to be able to finish. I think the NFL season is going to move forward and be able to finish as much as they can. But now it's like the other sports that we have that are in their current seasons, the NBA, the college football, college basketball. I want to see what they can do. And I just saw something today where they said they're willing to let a college football champion be crowned through a forfeit through COVID. So it's like if a team can't do everything they can, if they got COVID, if they forfeit, they'll crown champion based on forfeit. So that's very interesting to me.
Wow, that's in college football.
Yeah, they just made that announcement. Like if a team has to forfeit, they're willing to let a champion be crowned based off of forfeit of COVID. Like because you can't push the season, it's messed up, but you can't push the season even more than what you already pushed it for. So it's messed up, but it's just wow. It's just time to be living it.
Wow. All right. Craig, what's your thoughts about the current COVID outbreak?
I mean, obviously it's terrible. It's bad that it's happening. But I know Stephen A. Smith said it was a good thing that it happened. I'm not gonna go that far and say it was a good thing, but I think the fact that it did happen is opening people's eyes up to this again, because people got kind of content and got kind of lazy on the whole, because it was summertime and it was nice weather outside, and like people were just like traveling everywhere, doing whatever they wanted to do, and it was like, okay, seemed like everything's dying down, and kind of relaxed on the whole, I guess the whole rules and everything like that. They kind of laxed on those, and then obviously now you get into the cold season again, and it's picking back up, and you got the flu coming in, and just regular common cold, and now you got different variants of the coronavirus, and obviously that's not going anywhere. So it kind of made people, I guess, come back to the realization that this is not going anywhere, and that you still have to deal with this. So you can't be, just because the numbers went down at a certain period of time, you can't get really too laxed on it. Now, again, like just because the numbers were what they were. So I think it's kind of hard to say it's good that it happened, but it's in a way it is, because it opened people's eyes up to this again and got people back on the, okay, we need to start testing again, we need to start taking this seriously again and stuff like that. So you can't just kind of do what you were normally doing back in like July or whatever. So it's like I'm glad to see that the NFL were able to postpone games, reschedule games. NBA got their games going on that they got postponed. Hopefully it doesn't cause those 5 games on Christmas to be postponed or whatever it is, because that's like their big thing in December before I guess January happens and all that stuff. Then you got the NHL. The NHL shut down until after Christmas. Like, and there's no games in that. As of last night, there was one. But so like Mo said, I don't want this to affect college basketball. I'm kind of shocked that college basketball really hasn't had like a big outbreak yet. And that's fortunate. Same with really college football. And I did hear the news about the national champion being crowned off of a forfeit. So that's kind of, I mean, if that happens, I think that'll be bad for the sport. You don't want to have your national champion crowned off of, and I don't think the champion, whoever wins it, whether one of those 4 teams, they would want that to happen. But I mean, it's kind of out of their hands at that point. I'm hoping that they get, I guess, whatever they need to do as far as the rules for going forward for these for testing and for trying to figure out, the asymptomatic stuff versus the people who have symptoms, and how many days you can come back if you test negative or test positive or whatever it is. Like, just get those rules sorted out, so that way we have a better understanding of what to happen. And I don't know if they're going to shut down as far as fans and not letting fans in anymore, or maybe cutting back on the numbers. I don't think any team can really, like, they want to do that, because obviously money wise, and as the people who run the concessions and things like that, like, you don't want to see them back where they were last year and not being able to come to the arena. So that's going to be, it's all about what can all these leagues do to minimize the numbers. And I don't know what the actual answer to that is. I know the NFL said they want to test less or something like that, something to the effect of testing less, so that way you don't have, at least for the people who are vaccinated, so that way you don't show a bunch of people who test and get them out on that they can't play, I guess, basically. So I don't know if that's a good solution. That's one thing, but I kind of want to see what all these leagues do, and then in the off season come up with new ways to handle this better coming up. I know the NBA said they're not doing a bubble, which is cool. I don't want to see another bubble, but I mean, if it comes down to that, what are you going to do? So I'm just kind of interested to see what happens and see what happens for next season and the seasons to come, because I don't think this is going anywhere, at least for the foreseeable future. So,
all right, Corey, what do you think about the COVID outbreaks?
It's a situation where, while it shouldn't be, it is still surprising a little bit. I mean, the sporting world is just seeing the exact same spike as the rest of the world is right now. Back when this all first kicked off, one of the things that kind of opened everyone's eyes in the US to start actually taking the pandemic seriously was the NBA shutting down.
Yeah, it was. That was real.
So hopefully the sporting world seeing all this going on will, as Craig kind of mentioned, open people's eyes and remind everyone that this isn't over. We're not through it. I know everyone's tired of dealing with it. I am just as much as anyone else. It's incredibly frustrating that we're not at a point where we can get through this yet. So hopefully, people will see the fact that vaccines are important. Getting a booster is important. Because you look at it like, I feel like a bigger deal should be made of people like Sean Payton who have gotten COVID for a second time. It's one of the talking points of the people that are against vaccines are just building a natural immunity to it. Well, we're seeing with the variants that's not a thing. It's not going to happen because you can still get it again. So there's steps that we have to take as a community, and people need to be willing to not just think about themselves, but think about their friends, their family, community as the whole, and be responsible. And hopefully, we can eventually someday get through this.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the same way. So it's man, I can tell you this. Me and Craig, my friend Ty were at my house, and then Craig was the one that broke the news. He was like, the NBA shut down. And then at that point, we were like, okay, this has to be real because the NBA shut down. So it's very interesting. It is outbreak going on. I think people, I'm guilty as this as well. I mean, I wear my mask a lot, but when you go from not, I am vaccinated too, but if you go from like being in a house for a year and then it's like, all right, you got the vaccine, places start opening up a little bit, especially if you're vaccinated, then you still have life going on, right? Unfortunately, people are still dying, right? You still have to support your friends in events. People are still, I haven't been to one, but weddings are starting to happen, and people are having small gatherings now. And then this variant just is kind of it sucks because it's nothing that you can't really do about it because of what happened the previous year. I guess it's weird, right? So I think it's good to the point is some people can be as safe as possible and you still might end up with it, unfortunately. Somebody in my family has it, but he is vaccinated. So, they say if you have it, if you're vaccinated, it's 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days, you need to like quarantine and not be around people. That's the good thing. But if you're not, I think you have to quarantine for 14 days. But and for college football, it's man. I think the players that don't have it are treating it like last year, where they're going to the facility and going right home, wearing their mask, being vaccinated, treating it just like how last year was at this point in time. And I think that's going to happen in the playoffs. The teams that win are going to be the safest. But right now, this is an eye opening for players because it could cause games, and especially right now, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you're going to want to play. You're going to want to be available for your teams. And Craig, the testing list for the NFL, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Testing
for vaccinated players. Okay,
so
for I guess maybe for vaccinated players. I don't. So for the CDC, right? It said that you had to. It's 3 to 5 days, and then that's if you start showing symptoms. The CDC is like, if you start showing symptoms, then don't be around people if you're vaccinated. It's a weird thing. So maybe the NFL is following that guidelines.
I think they're more just trying to turn a blind eye to it so they don't have a repeat of this past weekend.
Yeah.
Because they had to get with the Players Association on these changes, I do believe. And I would imagine since players were at risk of losing game checks if games were canceled, that they're okay with turning a blind eye to stuff as well. So
I hope
it doesn't seem smart. It doesn't seem like a good way to go, but it seems like it's maybe path of least resistance for the NFL just to get through the season.
Yeah, I hope not.
Suppose some more games coming up with the Chiefs and whoever else. I don't know.
Yeah, the word out of Kansas City right now doesn't sound positive on that front. So,
yeah. Well, Kelsey just hit it.
Kelsey, Hill, and a handful of others, I think.
Yeah. This is a crucial time of the year, man. It could cause seeding.
This is bad all around. For actual real football and also for fantasy football.
Yeah, it's fantasy playoffs everywhere.
It's bad timing all around. But
it's pretty bad. Yeah. All right. Anyway, speaking about, we can talk about the Nets. I'll start off with Corey with this one, man. The Nets they're allowing Kyrie Irving to come back and play in road games this season. What are your thoughts about that, Craig?
You said Corey first, and then you said me.
Shit. Okay, that happens, man.
Every week, James.
I don't get it.
I haven't done it in 2 weeks. I haven't done it in 2 weeks. Okay, Craig. Kyrie, man. I know you're a big Kyrie fan.
I mean, I like Kyrie as a player, but as a individual, like he just does a lot of weird stuff, man. That's just boggles my mind sometimes. Like I'm all for a person who doesn't want to get the vaccine. I'm not going to sit here and tell you get the vaccine. I'm not going to sit there and tell you don't get the vaccine. You do whatever you want to do. Just know that there's going to be consequences with this, whether you're a basketball player or whether you're a
federal employee,
pharmacist.
It don't matter.
Yes, right. So I'm saying like it doesn't matter. But as far as Kyrie goes, like I was all with him. Like I'm still with him. Like if he doesn't want to get the vaccine, cool. But the Nets, when they come out and they say you're not going to play in any road games or any home, obviously can't play in home games until you get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes to the point where they got so many players now testing positive that now, okay, you know what, Kyrie, you can come back, but just for the road games until you decide what do you want to do. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you guys going back on your word about, you said one thing and now you basically just doing another. You're letting Kyrie off the hook basically in this situation. And if Kyrie, to me, was, if he should, I think Kyrie should, I'm not gonna sit there and say he should, but like, if I'm Kevin Durant or if I'm James Harden, mainly Kevin Durant, I'm like, you need to get the vaccine because I'm the reason why I came here because of you. And now you're sitting out and we're trying to win a championship here. And I got the vaccine and like Harden's got the vaccine or whatever, and you don't want to get it. Like kind of makes me, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm like, you need to get traded or it's like something needs to happen, or I'm not coming back next year. Something needs to happen because I came here for you and now you're bailing on me. So, I mean, look at it like that. Like your best player, one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, like you have to figure this out. I know there's been like trade rumors and stuff like that for him, but I just don't understand why this hasn't been figured out. And then, like I said, the whole Nets situation, I know that things happen. So obviously you're going to make chances like with the whole Antonio Brown thing. They said it was one strike and no tolerance, zero tolerance thing. And they're like, okay, we'll bring him back. This same thing here. Like you said, he wasn't going to play and now he's coming back to play road games. And then he tests positive. So like this whole situation is just messy. It's just dumb. You should just, I think they could have said something different in the offseason. Like we're going to play this by ear, but as of right now, we're going to just not let Kyrie play in road games. And then later on down the line, we see something that's different. You know what I'm saying? We'll play it by ear and we'll bring him back for just road games until he gets vaccinated. They could have handled it that way. They handled it to me the wrong way. Kyrie Irving has kind of handled this thing the wrong way. And he needs to, I don't even know if he does, when he does come back for road games, how that locker room is going to be. You're trying to win a championship. You don't have I don't know if he's going to have the support of his teammates, if he's going to be able to fit back in on the court and off the court. Like what's going to happen with that whole situation? Like this is not like the 12th man on the roster. This is one of the top 3 players on that team and one of the top players in the league. Like this is so. I don't know what the situation is gonna if it's gonna be more harm than good or if it's actually gonna work out. But even still, like when you get to the playoffs, you're just not gonna be there for what 3-4 games on your home court, depending on if you have home court advantage or not. So it's just it's messy, man. It's messy, and the Nets look dumb, and like I don't know, man. It's just it's a stupid situation.
All right, Corey.
Look, I'm a little less forgiving than Craig on this subject. Be responsible. Get the vaccine. I mean, at this point, it's been out almost a year. There's really not a good excuse to not get it at this point. Nobody's died from getting the vaccine. Over 800,000 people have died from getting COVID. And there was a rumor at one point that Kyrie's issue wasn't as much with getting the vaccine as it was being told what to do. And if that's the case, then just grow up, like get over yourself, act like an adult. Either way, grow up. But when it comes to the net situation, I'm in the same place. At face value, it seems like a really dumb idea. It's going to be impossible to get into the flow when you have a starter, a really important piece of your team that's just bouncing in and out of the lineup based on where you're at, because it's going to practice time, games. It's going to be hard to get any kind of chemistry going. And maybe the team is trying to play the long game at this point and say, maybe if we just get him into the facility, get him around his teammates, then that'll motivate him to want to be there full time for his teammates. That's the only thing that I could really think of that made this decision make sense. I don't know. Good luck to him. That's all I got.
So okay. I have mixed emotions about this. I love Kyrie playing. I love Kyrie's game. But I'm with Craig, right? Do what you want to do. But here's the thing. I think that we have to put this. We keep putting this past teams, and we think they're going to go one way, and they go the other. And the bottom line is they want to win. That's it. Same with Antonio Brown coming with the Bucks. I have a hard line rule. Well, we gotta bring him back. And it's like it's so like, for instance, Chris Bouchard brought this up early in the year, and I said this. The thing is, right? Not only I can understand giving Kevin Durant rest, but my thing is going to be the playoffs, man. I think it's really going to matter if the Nets play Golden State in the finals, right, or Milwaukee, and they have home court advantage, and Kyrie cannot be there for 4 games, and they lose. What was the point? That's gonna suck, man. That's gonna suck. I can tell you, Harden's probably out. Might be good for the NBA. He'll be in Harden. He'll be in Philadelphia. That's coming. So might be good for the NBA to balance it out, man. So that's all I think. I just think I get what they're trying to do. I get what the Bucks are trying to do. At the bottom line, they want to win. That's it. They don't care what they say, because they can always go back and say, "Oh, that's what happened before." Things change, and they do. But I just don't. I think it's going to hurt them right now. I don't think it's going to hurt them because KD is playing the most minutes. They need to get him a little rest. I think it's just further down the line. You're talking about playoffs in the finals. I think that's when it's going to affect them. All right, Mo. What you think about the Nets allowing Kyrie to come back and play road games?
I think it's crazy. So I want to bring this up, and as I heard everybody talk, I thought about this. if you give him this provisional, why not give him that in the beginning? Why not stay there off the top? So now, because you see KD's wearing down, you see all the stuff going on, now all of a sudden you want to give him this provisional. Can we really all sit here and say it was something going on that stopped them from giving this same provisional? Is there really something that stopped them from this? So now all of a sudden you want to get this provisional because you see KD wear it down. And like you said, James, you want to win games. So now it's like, okay, let's get this provisional so we can keep our standings. Let's win some games. But if things are getting worse and he has a stance on not wanting to get vaccinated, you can win games. But what happens when you get the playoffs? He can't play. He's not gonna be able to play. So you're looking for quick results right now, but what's gonna happen in the future? You're looking for a quick fix, but it's not gonna be long lasting. So I just think this the selfish side of sports right now, to where the selfish side of them is like, okay, let's bring him back, let's put fans in the stands, let's win some games, but we don't care about the future because we just want to win some games right now and make people happy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I understand it. Let me say this. I understand it because of what the world we live in and why people are who they are, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't like it either, no. But I just feel like the bottom line, they're trying to win games.
Yeah.
And by any means necessary.
Yep.
That's what it seems like to me. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Right? Like it's just like we need to win games. By any means. It's crazy. I've never seen this before.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So my thing is, what do you do when you got home games? We got a 6-game stretch of home games or 5-game stretch. He can't practice because he can't play there. So it's like you only can practice him on your road games or your stretch when you're on the road, but he can't play at home. So it's like, what do you do? Like, it's just crazy to me. It don't make sense.
No,
man. It's just gonna be weird to see him in and out of lineups when they're home versus away. Like they have two games at home, and they got 2 on the road, home, then 2 on the road, and then 2 home, and it's just like this weird lineup that you got here. It's constantly I don't know, man.
So wait a minute.
I think.
Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
Also, I believe it was Craig that made a really good point. And then that how is the locker room going to feel about this? A guy just showing up, bouncing in and out. I feel like if as a teammate, if you got someone that's just kind of almost showing up whenever they want type of deal, that cannot sit well. And chemistry matters in team sports too.
Yeah.
And there's no way to develop that if you're having constantly changing rotations and lineups because a guy isn't allowed to be there half the time.
Yeah. It's gonna definitely get frustrating, especially down the stretch.
If he's the 10th man or something like that, okay, it might not be that big of a deal. But when you're the starter, and you're like a star player, and and you're getting paid, and you already got paid pretty much. You already signed your contract. Come on,
you're supposed to be a team leader.
Yeah. You're right, and doesn't Golden State you have to play in? No, wait. Yeah. Is it true to play at Golden State Stadium? You have to be.
No. Well, if you're a home team, yeah.
If you're a
away team, you can go to like LA, San Francisco, New York, and Brooklyn have right now.
Okay. If you're away, you can go.
Unless they. This is what I read. I mean, unless
they change it.
Unless they change it, where if you're a away team and you don't have, you're unvaccinated, and you go to LA. I don't know if you. I mean, before then, you could still play. Now I don't know. Maybe they changed the rules of that. I didn't really look into it again, but
because if they play Golden State in the finals, there's no point for him to play.
And then if other cities adapt this as well, like Houston and Toronto, Toronto's having a big outbreak, or Canada in general. Then like
DC. If you guys saw the news today, DC is implementing having a requirement to show proof of vaccination before going to some places in public.
There it
And
is.
I'm curious if
Yeah.
I don't know if that would include a visiting team for going to a sporting arena. But if it does, is DC going to be the last of numbers keep spiking like this?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal wasn't vaccinated a few months ago. So I don't know if he's vaccinated now or not.
I mean, that would kind of force his hand.
Essentially, yeah.
If they say yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get to that point. Unless he decides, can you trade me to something? Because I think he wants. I mean, eventually he's gonna have to get traded anyway. He doesn't have to.
I mean, I think he. I don't know.
Though.
I don't think he's gonna sign an extension. I think he's gonna.
No.
This whole thing is just
Yeah.
crazy. No.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When I first heard it, I was just like, I just never seen it before. I don't think it's gonna work. I think the team's gonna implode, and Milwaukee Bucks are probably going back to back. Lakers imploding.
I honestly I wouldn't even know what to say. The best possible scenario, like what would the best possible outcome to that be? Like I don't even know.
Vaccinated.
Well, that's the best possible.
I mean, like allowing Kyrie to just play in some games. Like, what do they think is the best possible outcome to that?
I don't know.
I mean, selfish things and things. Like,
it's crazy.
There's no way you can justify this. There's no way you can come out and make a statement that will remotely make people with a quality education of life be able to be like, okay, that makes sense.
Still
like,
makes sense.
You drop a fancy thing, try to win games.
Yeah, that's all I get from
I'm gonna guess that maybe it's what Corey said, and that he gets around his teammates, and his teammates are like, okay, and he looks at him and is like, maybe I should just get the vaccine just to come back because I need to be there for my teammates.
That does not sound like Kyrie Irving.
But for those games, though, I mean, but how do I look at you? Like, how do I build a bond with you when I can say, okay, you about to be here for 2 games, but then you can't be here for 3 games because you about to be at home? Like, how do I build a bond with you? How do I build a relationship with you?
Wait till the playoffs start. The tensions are gonna get hot.
Yeah.
They're gonna get hot.
We told people not to come to the bubble, not to play, and he wasn't even playing in the bubble.
Yeah.
We told people don't play in the bubble.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I like Kyrie, man, but he's got some. And then he also took off work after they had that riot thing at the Capitol. He took off.
Oh yeah.
He said he was taking off. Just took off out of nowhere. I don't know, man. I like him as a player, man, but yo, he's got some. He's just a strange individual.
I respect him for being himself, I just sometimes I just wonder.
He went to Carolina. This is what he wouldn't be acting like this. He went to Duke. Duke, man. I'm telling you.
All right, let's talk about some awards. All right. I'm gonna start off with Corey with this one, man. So the NFL, what do we have? 3 weeks left in the season. So we're not gonna talk about the assistant coach of the year and a Walter Payton man of the year, because those are just 2. Walter Payton, I don't, that's hard because only the NFL would. It's a lot to keep up with that. I love the award, of course, for community service. Is just a little too in depth. So, offensive rookie of the year, Corey, who do you think will win, and who do you want to win?
So I think Mac Jones will win it. He's quarterback on the Patriots. The Patriots team has seen a significant turnaround from last season. Yes, that is not all because of Mac Jones. But he has stabilized that offense at least, though. He's a perfect fit for what they do. He's also by far the best looking rookie quarterback this year, which I think further helps his case a little bit. So yeah, I think he will win it. Personally, I think the person that should win it is Najee Harris. He's got about 1,300 all-purpose yards right now, 9 touchdowns. If he should finish the year with over 1,000 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the crazy thing is right now he has 62 receptions as a rookie running back. Yes, Deontay Johnson is a really good player, but Najee Harris has been the most consistent part of that Steelers offense in an offense where Roethlisberger is just their quarterback is done. He doesn't look great, and I think Harris is a large reason why that offense has been able to keep going as much as it has. But I could not see him getting the votes over Mac Jones.
All right. I'm gonna take my stab at it. I think you're definitely right. I think Mac Jones is gonna win. Hands down. He's the best rookie quarterback. They have a winning record. He's played good in some games. But I agree with you, Corey. I think it has to be Najee Harris, man. He's consistent, and also looking at his stats, he has 0 fumbles. That's pretty good, man, as a rookie. So yeah,
all the touches he's had, yeah.
Yes, all the touches. I like Najee Harris, man. I think he should get offensive rookie of the year, but this is a quarterbacks league. You know who they're gonna give it to. It'll be Mac Jones. And then it'll be other topics after that. He should have went to Atlanta, should have went to San Francisco.
Yep, that's going to be the conversation.
Yes, yeah. But I think he fits exactly where he's supposed to be at. All right. Mo, offensive rookie of the year. Who gets it? Who do you want to win it, and who do you think's gonna get it?
I think it's real easy to give to Mac Jones. I think it's entirely too easy. I mean, I think you can give it to him, but I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I want Jamar Chase to win.
Oh, okay.
I love what Najee Harris has done, but especially I don't know how long they keep the voting on. But if with 3 games left to go with the Bengals, if the Bengals make the playoffs or win the division, and him as a leading receiver as a rookie, I think he should win. That's me. He's over 1,000 yards already. I think he has double-digit touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
He does.
Yep, he got 10 touchdowns.
Yep, he does.
So I think if he keeps this pace going, 3 more games, we talking about over 1,200 yards receiving and almost 13 to 14. Let's just say you get 1 a game, 2 a game. We talking about 13, 14 touchdowns. I think he deserves it from what we thought the Bengals was going to be, and they got a chance to win the division. I think he deserves a lot of credit because a lot of people was arguing like, should the Bengals even draft him? Should they get offensive linemen? Should they draft them?
Mo, we were on here, Mo. I think everybody said that on here.
Yeah. So I mean, my vote is him. I mean, if they win the division, my vote is him. I'm not mad at Najee Harris. I'm not mad at Mac Jones. Yeah. But I think if they win the division and he shows out these last 3 games, I think he should win it.
All right. Craig, offensive rookie of the year, man.
I would like Jamar Chase to win it. Man, this microphone. Just hold it, man.
Oh, that looks like a good clip.
Nah, I'm just holding it. It's about to fall on me or something. I don't know what's wrong. But yeah, I would like Chase to win it, especially like Mo said, if they win the NFC or AFC North. Then yeah, he's having a really good year. He has over 1,000 yards. He has 10 touchdowns, which is 3rd in the league. Doesn't have the catches. And last week against the Broncos, like you saw, he had a bad game. But I think Najee Harris had a bad game, a similar bad game in their game last week as well. So kind of balanced itself out. But yeah, I think like, just like Mo said, like we all were kind of second guessing the decision to draft Chase, even though he already had that rapport with Burrow. But it seems like right now it's been a great decision. So it's working out. Harris was my second choice. He was right there with him. Yeah. But yeah, I think Mac Jones is going to win it. A lot of these awards, especially on the offensive side, usually go to quarterbacks anyway. So and the Patriots were 7-9 last year. So, and he's brought them back, and now they're 9-5 right now with 3 games left. So, and they have a chance to not only win the division but get home field for the AFC side. So, and he's really playing decent. Like he's 18 touchdowns to 10 picks, and like they're not asking him to go out there and do too much. They're not asking him to go out there and be Herbert from last year or Patrick Mahomes in his first season that he started, anything like that. They're just asking, just don't turn the ball over, run the ball, kind of what they did with Tom Brady. So, I like what Mac Jones is doing, and I think at the end of the day, especially if they win the division, and especially if they get home the number 1 seed, then I think he's definitely going to win it. But I think it's a close race though. But I think Mac Jones is going to win it.
All right. I'm gonna start off with this one. This is pretty easy. This is probably gonna be real quick.
Should we just honestly skip this one?
Yeah, I think we should. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Michael Parsons is gonna get Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, let's skip that one. Ain't no need.
Okay.
No need.
All right, I'll start off.
Move it along.
I mean, nobody's gonna combat that. All right, I'll start off with the Defensive Player of the Year. Who do I think should get it? I think it's TJ Watt, and who I think will get it is TJ Watt. I think he's gonna. I think I might have hit this one on the head. I just think that he has 17.5 sacks. When he doesn't play, the Steelers are horrible. The Steelers on the offensive side of the ball, besides Najee Harris and Deontay Johnson, have been non-existent, and they're relying on their defense to win games. And I like TJ Watt, 17.5 sacks. I mean, he could break the record, even though we do have one more added game. But I mean, even if he gets a sack a game, he's still at 20.5. That's pretty good. So I'm going with TJ Watt with Defensive Player of the Year. All right. Mo, Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna go. I want this tough. So I want TJ Watt to win it, right? But I don't know how long the NFL lets it go on as far as voting, as far as what they want to see. So the reason I say I want TJ Watt to win it, but if Diggs get a couple more picks and Dallas wins the division, I wouldn't be shocked if Diggs win it. And I'm gonna say why. You got multiple digits picks. You got 10 picks right now, right? I think you got 10 picks.
Yes, 10.
You got 3 more games left to go. So if he gets to 12 or 13 picks and they win the division, I wouldn't be shocked if he won it. I want Watt to win it.
Yeah.
Especially if Pittsburgh get into the playoffs. But I wouldn't be shocked if Diggs won it because you get 12 to 13 picks, or you get 10 to 13 picks, and then they win the division. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So I would say I want Watt to win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Diggs won the award.
Okay. Craig?
Who I think is going to win is TJ Watt. Like I picked him to win the Defensive Player of the Year last year. He didn't win it.
Yeah.
He's playing. His numbers to me are even better this year. And like you said, when he's not in the lineup with them, like the team is not the same. So I think he's missed like 2 games. So I thought, like I said, I thought he should have won it last year, and I think he's going to win it again this year. But who I want to win is Parsons. I think Diggs is having a really good year, and he's just, as far as picks go, he's top notch. But everything else in between, like he's just he's a good corner, but sometimes he gives up big plays. Sometimes he doesn't cover as well as I think he should. But yeah, I think Parsons, like, he has 76 tackles. He has 10 or 12. I think he has 10, 12 sacks. Like he's as a rookie, you can't ask for much. I mean, he was drafted as a linebacker, played some, and now he's playing edge. I think he even played some cornerback last week or something like that. Or he was playing something.
Yeah, he was check. He does it all.
So I mean, like this guy's he's versatile. He gets to the quarterback. He hurries quarterbacks.
Yeah, he has 12 sacks, Craig.
Yeah, so I mean, like he's everything. I just don't think they're gonna give it to him because he's a rookie. It's kind of, I don't know when the last time a rookie has won Defensive Player of the Year. But you know, that's who I would personally root for.
All right, Corey, Defensive Player of the Year.
On who I think will win it, I'm with you guys. It's going to be TJ Watt.
Yep.
He's got the name, the Watt name. He's on the Steelers. And the 17 and a half sacks is very impressive. He's not done. And not just that, it's the Steelers, like the Steelers have needed him to do this, because if he's not performing at this kind of level, that Steelers defense is significantly worse. They don't really have a ton of other options outside of him, and he's doing a lot of heavy lifting for the team. Who I think should win it? Darius Leonard.
Oh, okay.
Leonard is already over 100 tackles on the season.
Okay.
He has 3 interceptions, which is, I believe, tied for 5th in the league, but leads the linebacker position. Mm-hmm. He has 7 other passes defensed. He has 6 forced fumbles, which is 2nd in the league. He has 3 fumble recoveries, which is 1st in the league. Mm. He has changed multiple games for the Colts with his punch-outs. He's having a phenomenal season. And to put what Leonard is doing in a little more perspective, do you know how many linebackers in NFL history have had 15 forced fumbles and 10 interceptions in their first 5 seasons?
Nobody.
Nobody other than Darius Leonard. And he's in his 4th season. Still has another year to go before reaching 5.
Yeah.
So not only has Leonard been one of the best playmakers in all of the NFL this season, he is making plays at a historic rate. And I know he has no chance at winning this award, but I feel like he absolutely deserves to be in the conversation for what he's doing this season.
Okay. Goodness. All right. Okay. Now here's an interesting one that's about to come up. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to start off with Mo on this one. Offensive Player of the Year, Mo.
Oh, yeah. So because I know he's not gonna get MVP, I would say Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
So I mean, the numbers speak for itself. We ain't got to talk about it. You leading the league in rushing, leading the league in rushing TDs. Your team is in playoff position. I think numbers speak for itself. We know he's not going to be in the MVP voting, but I think it's a shame if he's not going to be at least offensive player of the year. And I would say this as a coach, as somebody who coach, if we say the game is won and lost on line of scrimmage, how could he not win any one of these awards? But we turn around and say the game is won and lost on line of scrimmage. I just think he ought to win something. The stats he's putting up is ridiculous. So I would say Jonathan Taylor for offensive player of the year.
All right, cool. Craig, offensive player of the year.
Yeah, I'm right there with Mo. I think Jonathan Taylor deserves to win offensive player of the year. Second season with 1,500 yards already, 17 touchdowns. 3 games left to go, so he can still hit 2,000 if they get him. I think he has to average like 160 yards a game the next 3 games. So, and it's doable. Considering the fact that he's been on the tear the last 6-7 weeks of the season. So, he also catch the ball. Like he has 36 catches, which is all he had last year in 15 games, with 2 touchdowns, 336 yards. So, I think he should win it, and I think he will win it. Mainly because like his numbers are just crazy, but also because, like Mo said, I think the MVP vote is going to go to a quarterback, which is what he usually does anyway. So, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor, man, like he definitely deserves this award, and I think he definitely deserves to be in the MVP conversation.
All right, Corey, Offensive Player of the Year. Are you gonna go with the same one?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor will win it. I'll combine my argument because, spoiler alert, I think he should be MVP, not just Offensive Player of the Year. Taylor, what he's doing is insane. Right now he has almost a 500-yard lead on Mixon for leading the league in rushing. He should finish the season well over 2,300 yards all purpose. He'll be well over 20 touchdowns. When it comes to that 67-yard touchdown run in the Patriots game was the fastest at like 22 and change miles per hour that anyone has ran. He has 3 of the top 5 fastest speeds in the NFL this year. He has 4 touchdowns over 65 yards. No other player has more than 1. And again, on that last touchdown, he got in the hole, had 2 of the Patriots' best defenders unblocked in the hole with him. 1 cut, blows right by him. Like, it's what he's doing is crazy impressive, and he deserves the award when he wins it. But he should be MVP. But with that said, since Taylor should be MVP, I think you have to also mention Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp. He has had an unbelievable season. It's crazy that the worst game of the year he has had this year is 5 receptions for 64 yards. The next lowest yardage total he has had this season is 92 yards. That is crazy. The production he has had has been insane. The touchdown production has been crazy. And the fact that when Robert Woods went down and teams are going to be keying on him even more, his production hasn't dipped. He has taken on more of the workload and produced. So while Taylor will win this award because they're not giving a running back MVP, I do think Cooper Kupp deserves consideration and to be in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year.
That's funny, Corey, because I was doing my research earlier and I was like, okay, everybody, right? I was looking at Nick Wright's MVP race. He had Aaron Rodgers 1, TJ Watt 2, Jonathan Taylor 3, I think Tom Brady 4. He might even have Cooper Kupp in there. But that was his. And I know the writers don't. Every time I look it up, it's 10 quarterbacks. It's not even like people aren't, which is crazy, not even considering Jonathan Taylor, which is absurd. The numbers that he's doing this year are phenomenal, right? So I do want to give Cooper Kupp some consideration. Like, I'm gonna be honest. The Offensive Player of the Year, 9 times out of 10, I think it is a running back. Most times it is, right? So they're going to give him instead of MVP. But Cooper Kupp is balling this year. It's like he's just put up some historical numbers. Like the year he's having right now, I mean, they're on some Hall of Fame level type of stuff. And, if he's consistent, he'll be in that conversation. But right now, he's playing great, and he still has 3 games to go, and he could eclipse. I'm just looking at it right now, right? His receiving, he has 1,600 yards receiving, right? And then the closest next person is Justin Jefferson, who, in the first 2 years, I think he needs 61 to break Randy Moss's for the first, and then maybe 100 more to break Odell Beckham's, the best in 50 games or something. That's Justin Jefferson. And he's outpacing Justin Jefferson by 300 yards. That's like crazy. And he has 122 receptions. He has 122 receptions, man. I was like, look at this. Because, going NFL.com, and it's like, look at his stats. So I think he's going to get a heavy consideration. Would I be surprised? I would not. Honestly, I would be like, dang, Jonathan Taylor deserves it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cooper Kupp gets it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All right. Craig, comeback player of the year. This is probably an easy one.
It was easy earlier in the season but I was gonna say Dak Prescott. Like I think just because, or at least early in the season, like he was putting up really, really good numbers. Like he wasn't, and I guess before he got hurt versus now after he got hurt and came back. Kind of two different sides of Dak. But like just because the team is winning, they won the division now. They're already clinched since Washington lost. They're 10-4, so they're going to the playoffs. They look like, I guess, one of the top teams that could win. If everything goes right. The defense is looking good, but Dak as a whole, like he's kind of bounced back from last season. His numbers are decent, 25-10 with 3,600 yards basically. It's it's nothing special. I don't really see. I mean, it was between him to me and Joe Burrow. I could see either one. I guess I picked Dak because his team has already won the division, and he has less picks. But like either or, like I could pick either one of those. But I think Dak Prescott probably should win it, and I'm going to say he's going to win it, just because he's on the Cowboys, like stuff. And as long as he keeps playing, I guess if he can find that magic that he had before he got hurt, and finish the season strong, he has 3 games left, 3 winnable games,
possible,
then I think he can easily just run away with this. But Joe Burrow is still right there. I think he can make some noise. But yeah, I'm going Dak for both.
All right, Corey, comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's Dak Prescott, and I'm not sure it will be a close vote. Joe Burrow having a great year, but he's, and I don't want to like say it as if I'm diminishing it, but he's coming back off an ACL injury. The player that's not the injury it used to be. Whereas the broken leg that Dak Prescott's coming back from was a pretty rough injury. So just a combination of the severity of the injury Dak's coming back from and the fact that the Cowboys are winning. I think it's going to be Dak running away. And again, as Craig mentioned, him being on the Cowboys does help make that a lot easier too.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it was. I think it was different in the beginning of the year. We don't know who, but now Cowboys are winning the division. The way the playoff race is, I think they're like 3rd or 4th. So that's huge. I know he has been playing the same since the calf injury, but I mean, just like Craig said, he's 9th. He's top 10 in yards. His yards per average is 7.9. He has 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He has a 98.1 rating. His team is winning. His team is going to win a division. And probably the 3rd or 4th seed in the playoffs. I mean, I can see Joe Burrow. I can see it, but I just think Dak is going to win out over him. What do you think, Mo? Comeback player of the year.
Who I want to win it is I want Joe Burrow to win it. I think the story is very incredible, but who I think is going to win it is going to be Dak. With Dallas winning the playoff, with Dallas winning the NFC East, Jerry Jones is the owner, everything going on, he's going to win it. But if you look at the whole story as Cincinnati, especially they win the division, I think he should win it. Especially if they win the division, I think he should get it. But I mean, we already know if Dallas win the division, everything going on, I think Dak going to win it.
All right.
So I would love to see Chase win it. I mean, I would love to see Joe Burrow win it, but I think Dak will win it at the end of the day. Just off the story, the franchise, and then win the division. I think he'll win it. But I would love to see Joe Burrow get it.
Okay. All right, cool. I think this is another easy one. I don't know if Coach of the Year.
I think it's discussion. I
think
don't know
who will win it
Yeah.
is an easy one. I have an argument to be made for somebody else myself.
Okay, go ahead, Corey. Go ahead,
Right,
Corey.
so first off, Bill Belichick is going to win it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Patriots missed the playoffs last year, has them rebounding with a rookie quarterback. Defense is one of the top in the league. I don't see any way that Bill Belichick doesn't win this award.
Okay.
I am going to make the case for Frank Reich.
Okay.
Frank Reich this season is on his fourth different starting quarterback in 4 years.
Okay.
That is a quarterback last year that the entire NFL ridiculed, said was garbage, was done, led the league in interceptions, and didn't play the last 4 weeks.
4. Yeah.
Same quarterback who missed virtually all of training camp, all of the preseason. Offensive line had injuries all over the place when the year started, which ended up getting his quarterback hurt when he did come back and play. The Colts were sitting at 1-4 after a heartbreaking loss to the Ravens. That's a point that a lot of teams would crumble. You know, if Josh McDaniels was the head coach of this team, the Colts would have folded. But Reich rallied the roster and has them all the way back to 8-6. They've won 5 of their last 6 games and just beat the 1 seed in the AFC, who is no longer the 1 seed because they lost. I think he's one of the best play callers in the NFL, and his bold decision making, such as going for it on 4th and 1 on your side of midfield in the 4th quarter against the Patriots to maintain possession, has helped the Colts put them into the position that they are in, where there is a scenario that could happen where the Colts could still end up the 2 seed in the AFC right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
didn't see that as an option when the Colts were sitting at 1-4 as a Colts fan.
That's
and I will also say,
possibility.
As a side note, Reich's 4th and 1 decision to go for it, ballsy play, was the right call. Also something that John Harbaugh has been criticized like crazy for, although nobody's mentioning Frank Reich because it happened to go right.
Yeah.
Whole other topic, though. But with all that said, I know Reich's not going to win it, but I think he's been overlooked a few times for this award with everything he's had to deal with. And I just believe he deserves to, at a minimum, be in the conversation with the job he's done.
Okay. Now, Mo, you said you had somebody else in mind too?
I'm gonna say, the overwhelming will be Belichick, but I'm gonna throw a name out there that some people might be shocked by. And I don't know how long they take into consideration the award, but depending on these last 3 weeks, I'm gonna throw out Zach Taylor. Okay. And I understand year three is your turnaround year. But the Bengals, look at it. I mean, if we took this season right now, how many people can raise their hand right now on this platform and say they thought the Bengals would be right here, right now, and 3 games left with a chance to win the division?
Nope.
None of us can raise our hand right now and say we thought that the Bengals would have a chance to win the division or would even be in first place right now with 3 games left.
That's true.
So I had him as my potential on a hot seat candidate, let alone
Me too.
Where he's at right now.
I thought his ass bacon.
Yeah, so with 3 games left, I don't know how long the voting goes as far as them voting for it, but if they win this division, it'd be hard pressed for me to say how you cannot vote him for Coach of the Year. For me, I mean, it'd be hard pressed. Like, look at those 2nd-year quarterback. Your second best player is a rookie wide receiver. You got a running back that nobody wanted, that everybody thought you was crazy out your mind for keeping because he beat up a young lady. I mean, let's go ahead and put the cards on the table right quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Running back that a lot of people thought shouldn't even be in the league for what he did. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in the offensive line that's still young and you win this division, you got a bunch of people that nobody wanted. Even that defense is a bunch of people that nobody really wanted. I mean, a bunch of people that he drafted or that nobody wanted, and he's doing it. So I think if they win this division, I think he should get it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick got it for what is transpired or what people thought of him.
Okay. All right. Craig.
Hey man, look.
Yeah.
I got look. Now this was easy 2 weeks ago because they had the best record in the league. I'm gonna say Kingsbury, man. Like,
oh, okay.
Boy, you said he should be out of there. Like, you had him on the hot seat. I think. I mean, if he can finish this season with the last three games, if he wins all three of those, it's gonna be kind of tough because they play Dallas in Dallas, one of those games. And
if he wins two more, if he wins at least two, he'll be.
They got the Colts coming up this week, and they got Dallas after that. Then I think they end the season off with San Francisco or Seattle. I think it's Seattle.
I think it's Seattle.
Yeah, it's Seattle.
Either way, they I think he's had a really good season. Took his team from 5 wins the first season to 8 to now, at least right now, he has 10. And they're going to the playoffs. They still have a chance for the 1 seed. They lost their best receiver kind of late in the season, but they still lost their best receiver. Kyler Murray's been in and out. Well, not in and out, but he missed like 3 games. Edmonds hasn't been there as a running back. So I think they kind of just been treading water here a little bit. I think that's loss to Detroit it didn't do him any favors. I think that's going to probably kill him. That's going to kill him. But it's unfortunate. But I think he's in the running. But yeah, to me, it's between him and Belichick. I'm going to say Belichick, even though I don't know if he actually should win it. I mean, he's taking a rookie quarterback. I get that. But a lot of his players that weren't there last year, they opted out, and now they opt back in for this season. So his defense is better. You got players coming out like Judon and Jackson, like they're playing really well. So, I think Bill Belichick's probably going to win it. He's done a really good coaching job, but Kingsbury, man, I think he's done an equally good job. But, his team's in the top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense, top 10 in turnovers, top 10 in passing. They're 11th in rushing. They're top 10 in points, top 10 in points against. And they played in a tough division as well. Well, on paper, it looked tough in the beginning, I guess, before Seattle had their. Because I had all 4 teams.
Still a tough division.
I had all 4 teams making the playoffs. I think Corey did as well, but I just thought that the division was good. It was tough but good, and you'll get 3 probably now out of the 4. But
all right, man. I'm going with Belichick. What? Come on, man. Look, listen, the Empire Strike Back. That's exactly what happened this year. Listen, man, nobody wanted Mac Jones. That's fair. That happens. And he just has his team playing at a really good level, man. They're on a 7th game winning streak. They lost to the Colts. I just think the Colts are one of those teams that, what they say, defense and the running game travels well. We'll get to that later, what I think about how far the Colts can go in the playoffs. I just think the Colts are a better team than a lot of people give them respect for. So they are, man. They're going to surprise them. The Colts are one of those teams nobody wants to play in the playoffs. But anyway, let's go back to Belichick. But I just think that I just think that he hasn't won in a while, and he's gonna win it. Rookie quarterback, defense came back. They went on that 7th game winning streak. They are maybe in position to get the 1st seed without Tom Brady. This is gonna be a very. I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people anticipated, because you do have Frank Reich. And before I usually look at who's the candidates for each, I didn't do it this time. So, maybe I'll go back later tomorrow, read the articles to see who's the ranking, right? But I think Zach Taylor's probably in there. If Cincinnati wins it, Cliff Kingsbury's up there because they're going to finish in the playoffs. I think they'll finish strong. I think so. I don't want to put out there. And I think Frank Wright is is definitely going to be in consideration. So it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think that the job he's done. Not to say those other coaches that just, not taking nothing away from them. But I think the coach of the year is going to be closer than a lot of people think it's going to be, especially with these 3 games left. Right? Say the Cincinnati Bengals win the division, the Colts get the number 2 seed, and the Cardinals win out. That's going to be a tight race for coach, right? Not to say it could happen. We don't know, but it could, right? Cardinals could get it together. They could win out. The Colts could get the 2 seed, and the Bengals could win the division. And at that point, the
Titans would have to.
I mean, they are.
I mean, but there's the
they are imploding.
Last 3 games are trash.
Well, the Titans get San Francisco on Thursday. They get Miami the week after that, and then Houston in the year. Yeah, they'll win.
They should win.
But if they were to lose to San Francisco and Miami, the Colts could win out and win the division.
Yeah, they have a chance. The only thing that's stopping the Colts is the fact that they lost both games to Tennessee.
That's it. That's the only thing.
But they have to. They can't tie with them, so I mean, they have to go one up.
Yeah, which is possible at this point because they are. I don't see them being San Francisco, and I don't see them being Miami.
Whoa! I take boys.
I don't. I think Miami's gonna beat them easy.
Hey, Brown's coming back.
I think, come on, man. Like,
Derrick Henry back yet?
Yeah.
He's coming back this week.
Who? Derrick Henry?
Yeah, he's coming back this week too.
Yeah, okay. And they better not sleep against Houston. That's all I'm gonna say. The way they play
hard at least.
The way they're playing, man. Don't listen. Julio caught the ball and then he was hurt again. I was like, what? No, he missed the catch and he was hurt. I was like, what is going on?
What's going on, Julio, man?
Jacksonville, and they've already lost the Jets. So
and AJ Brown is. I think he just went through walkthroughs.
Yeah, he's coming back, but it's still Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Just don't.
So I will say, when it comes to Cliff Kingsbury, I don't know if he's out of the woods of the hot seat yet.
For real?
Because look, the Cardinals imploded last year.
They did.
2 weeks ago, I would completely with Craig. Kingsbury, coach of the year, because they were winning games even without Kyler. But then they've lost the last 2 games, and losing to the Rams makes sense. Rams are a really good team. But getting your ass kicked by the Lions?
That was bad. No. That was bad.
If they would have lost a close game to Detroit, honestly, I'm fine with that because Detroit has played everyone hard.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, they've been in a lot of close games. The Lions should have beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
And there's a few others they should have won too. So that wouldn't be, but for Detroit to steamroll you, that's a warning sign.
That's weird.
And if the Cardinals drop 2 of their last 3,
they don't have
lose to the Colts and the Cowboys and then lose first round of the playoffs, I think the pressure could mount that Kingsbury may not be the guy, and a change could happen because I feel like the Cardinals have to understand like they're in their window right now. So I don't know if you can mess around if you're not sold that Kingsbury's the guy and if they fall apart for a second straight season.
So side note before we go to the most valuable player, Jim Caldwell is getting some looks, and so is Doug Peterson this year. So, Detroit hasn't won since Jim Caldwell. They went to the playoffs twice under him. But
Detroit did make the mistake of hiring a Belichick disciple.
Yep. So we'll see. But all right.
Anywho.
All right. Most valuable player. I'm gonna start off with this and clear the elephant out the room. Jonathan Taylor should win the MVP. That is a fact. I don't think anybody agree. I think it's a fact. I think without Jonathan Taylor, I think without Jonathan Taylor, the Colts are a lottery team. That's I'm being honest. I think I think he's that good. I think he deserves MVP. Who will get the MVP will be Tom Edward Patrick Brady. Tom Brady's going to win. Yep, at 44 of what he's doing. Mark my words, man. He's gonna win MVP. He has the most passing yards right now. He has the second most touchdowns. He does have a higher interceptions, but everybody does, except for Kirk Cousins. But everybody who's going to be in the MVP race, besides Aaron Rodgers. But I just what Tom Brady is doing at 44. A lot of writers have him at number one. I just think he's going to win the MVP. I just think he's going to finish the season strong. They're passing passing the ball more, and I think that he's statting his pat. They're stat padding with Tom Brady, and I think they're going to give him MVP. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm telling you, a lot of sports writers are pushing for him to get it this year. That's who I think should get it. No, but who I think will is Tom Brady. I just think that people think he's 44 and doing something that nobody else has done. I just think he's gonna get it. It's between him and somebody else who I know Craig's gonna say. I know he's gonna say it, but like I don't be surprised if Tom Brady wins it. I listen to a lot of sports writers are high on what he's done. That's what I'm saying, man. Mo, MVP.
Man, I'm who I think should win it. Who I think should win it, and who I think is going to win it is the same thing, and it's for various reasons. But I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers. I know a lot of people hate this when I'm about to say it.
No, a lot of people rock.
But I'm gonna say why. With all that went on, if Green Bay right now, if I'm not mistaken, they're number one seed right now.
They are.
If they went out and get number one seed, I fail to believe he's not going to win it. I just fail to think he's not going to win it. With all that went on, with all the speculation, at the end of the day, what the argument was about why he was going to leave, and the fact it didn't add him any weapons, and he still wins number one seed in the NFC, and the NFC's gotten much better than what it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago when this argument started. And for him to still win it, I think he's going to win MVP. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying whatever, but for the argument of what people have said about him, for him to still put up these numbers, the same kind of numbers that he's been putting up, and then for them to have the record they have, I think he's going to win MVP.
All right. Craig. I know who you're going to pick, man. Go ahead.
Because to me, it's just I'm there. I'm right there with Mo, man. It's Aaron Rodgers. Both who I think is going to win and who I think should win. I mean, you said if you take Taylor off of the Colts, they're a lottery team.
Yes.
Take Aaron Rodgers off of this team, you might get 3 wins. I mean, we saw what Jordan Love did against the Chiefs. Granted, it was only one start. It was on the road against the Chiefs. They didn't play that bad if you think about it.
No, they did not.
Kept them in the game, but Jordan Love just really didn't make anything happen, really. And they had a chance to win that game, but like I just don't think I know that he can't do what Aaron Rodgers does. Like the throws that he makes, it's just the way that he commands this offense is something that a lot of people, I think, in Green Bay have taken for granted and think that they can just get another Aaron Rodgers or the next Brett Favre or whatever and come in there and just plug him in there and be that starting guy. And it's not that simple. It's not that easy. Like guys like Aaron Rodgers only comes along every now and then. I mean, you got like a few guys that can do what he does, and it's a short list. And he has 30 touchdowns to 4 interceptions in 13 games. Yeah. Come on, man. He's leading the league in quarterback rating. He's leading the league in passer rating. Granted, he doesn't have the yardage that Brady has. Even if he played in the extra game, he still wouldn't have had the yardage. But the fact that this team is right now has the the top overall spot. And you look at Brady's last 3 games, he has to play the Jets and the Panthers twice. That's not really going to help his cause. I mean, granted, he's going to stat pad his numbers and get him up there, but your last 3 games are against terrible competition. And he just got shut out at home. Now, he lost three key players in that game, but, you know, you should not. I mean, you got shut out 9-0. He's 0-4 against the Saints in the regular season since he's come to Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help his cause. And, you know what I'm saying, Aaron Rodgers, at least he has to play a team that's in playoff contention, and the Browns coming up, and he has to play the Vikings later on. So just looking at that and the fact that the whole thing that happened in the off season and the Jordan Love stuff and the whole immunized or whatever that is, that might come back to bite him, just because some people who's voting might say, okay, he lied about that or whatever, falsified. So, but just looking at the numbers and what you see on the field and seeing the throws that he makes, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Corey, MVP?
So I've already made the case. Jonathan Taylor should be MVP. Yeah, everything he's doing, the just insane numbers he's put up. I do also want to throw it out there. Sorry, James. After this past week, Tom Brady should not be in consideration for the most valuable player of the league award. When you get outplayed by Taysom Hill and shut out, you do not deserve to be in the MVP consideration. Taysom Hill, come on now.
This is not me. This is
and I know, as Craig pointed out, yes, he lost 3 important offensive weapons in Evans, Fournette, and now Godwin for the season. But gonna have to ask the question: did Brady struggle in that game because those weapons weren't there? And does that mean how important are those weapons to Brady's overall success? And I'm not so sure that Brady's going to necessarily go on a massive tear, because Godwin's out for the season. Yes, AB will be back because the Bucs decided to ignore their morals and values and keep AB because they need him now. Fournette's down too. And without that tremendous supporting cast, is Brady going to continue to put up those numbers? I don't know. But by rule, you get outplayed in a game by Taysom Hill, you should not be. Who will win it? I'm with you, Craig. Aaron Rodgers. He's still arguably the best quarterback in the game. I think it will help his cause that we have had a glimpse of what the Packers look like without Aaron Rodgers, and it was not good. And I think it continues to help his case that how many people can name a wide receiver on that Packers roster outside of Devontae Adams? Rodgers.
I can name them because they both sorry in fantasy anyway. Continue.
Rodgers is carrying the Packers. They're probably going to be the 1 seed, and I especially think if the Packers end up having the 1 seed locked up before Week 18. I don't know how you could vote for, and how I couldn't see anybody else. To your point, James, Brady's numbers at his age could sway some people, but I also think 9 of those touchdowns came from the freaking Falcons. He's been padding his stats against some really bad teams. That doesn't make him more valuable or better.
He's about to pad him again.
He's gonna bat him. I'm telling you.
The only good news is that Fournette's not gonna play and Godwin's not gonna play. At least Fournette's doubtful right now. I think he's gonna be out for the year though. But I mean, AB's coming back. Evans probably will be there. They still have Gronk. They got Jones.
If Tampa ends up the 4 seed, can you name Brady MVP?
I thought Brady was MVP about halfway through the season, and then Aaron Rodgers just.
I mean, I'm just going by the odds, right? Caesars has Tom Brady. It's narrowed now. It's narrowed, but I'm just telling you what I've been listening to. A lot of writers say. Some people have Aaron Rodgers. Some people have Tom Brady. I like Jonathan Taylor.
I think Taylor's second. I think it's Rodgers,
I think it's two.
Taylor,
It should be a 2-man race.
Brady.
It should be. It should be.
Somebody, Mahomes.
Matt Stafford is what I just looked at. I think he's fourth. I think it's fourth or third. I think it's fourth or third. I think it's Aaron Rodgers. I saw one say Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and I saw majority of them say Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford. He's having a good year.
No. You got to put Taylor in the top 2 or 3.
No. It's a lot of people that pick quarterbacks.
That's disrespectful, man. See, the thing is that it's out of since 2000, only 4 running backs have won.
Yeah.
So it's always been, and the other 17 have been quarterbacks. So I mean, and I don't. I mean, like I said, I had Aaron Rodgers, but like Taylor should be at least in the top 2, top 3 at worst.
Yeah, at worst.
I
don't think so, guys.
Reason why we should not be top 3.
I hate to say this, but like
he might get 2,000 yards.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
unfortunately, it's a quarterback league, man.
I understand it, but
Sean McVay just said Cooper Kupp should be, and I think he should be.
What? I get it, but
I think Kupp should get consideration over
Stafford, right?
Yeah. But I mean, if Taylor's not in the top 3,
in the top 5.
Yeah, it's a quarterback league, though.
If Taylor's not in the top 3 or top 3 voting of most valuable players, especially the Colts make the playoffs, how do we? I understand what you're saying, but how do we keep telling people that the game is won and lost at the line of scrimmage or won and lost in the trenches, but a running back who's second in the league, who was drafted second round, is not even in the vote for MVP, but the numbers he put up. It doesn't make sense. How do we keep saying that? How do we keep telling people?
What can you do as a running back to make yourself proven even more?
Exactly.
I don't know.
With offensive line has been beaten up. With offensive line who's been beaten up all year. With a quarterback who's been shot around more than a little bit.
I don't know.
To Mo's point,
I mean,
if you look at what Jonathan Taylor is doing this season, and he can't get consideration, and you look what Derrick Henry did last season, and he doesn't get consideration,
right.
then just change the MVP award to the best quarterback award.
Yep. That's all I'm saying.
You might keep giving
Derrick Henry didn't even get consideration last year.
When he looked
at that point, I was like, okay, at that point on, I knew I was like, it's gonna be quarterback, which to me is crazy.
It's most valuable player.
Because you'll never see at that point. When are we gonna see a defensive person? Never.
No, you've seen it. It's happened, but
it's happened, but it's never.
It hasn't been happening since 2000. I mean, it's in the last 20. No, it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened.
Taylor?
Yeah. LT. Right.
Now I will say this though. If Pittsburgh make the playoffs, I don't know if they can make the playoffs. I don't know if Pittsburgh can make the playoffs, but if Pittsburgh make the playoffs, there's no way Watt doesn't get defense player of the year. It's no way you can explain.
Oh yeah. No, I think that voting's probably over already.
Yeah. I think he wraps if he stays healthy, I think he's gonna wrap that up. All right, guys. Favorite of the night, man. Who you got?
You should have some theme music.
Who you got? You said.